And now the features will actually be what you will be seeing in the backend of our application. So the screenshot on the right here is actually how our menu looks like in GEVME Virtual. So to start with, we have the people module, which consists in a nutshell of your list of attendees. So these are the people who have registered for your event and who therefore will have access to the virtual event. There's three ways in which people can get on that list. Number one, by importing them from a file, CSV file that you would have exported from another software. Number two, by creating them manually. And then number three, by integrating with a registration platform. These are the three methods. Next, we have virtual. So this is where you will be able to see the virtual venue, showing you the basic details of the venue that you have chosen, that you are using. Then you will be able to see a list of all the live pages under that venue. There is the menu item. So this is where you can create your menu items. So you can have different menus, by the way. You can create multiple menus and then use them in different places. You can have a top menu, a footer menu with different kind of links. And then lastly, under virtual is authentication. Authentication essentially allows you to choose how you want to allow the attendee to check in to the event. Right now we have, like, you can log in, check in through email, check in through phone, or check in through social media check-in, like Google, right? So this is what we mean by authentication. Next is the agenda. So this is where you basically set up and create all the agenda sessions of your event, which then will make your whole event agenda. And it also consists of speakers here. So this is where you can, on the agenda, you can also create your speakers with their profile picture, job title, company, and bio. And then you can actually add a speaker under a particular session. So this is all being managed under this module here. The next one is sponsorship. So sponsorship is where you manage the sponsors and exhibitors. So it works in this way. You start with packages. So you create the different tiers of sponsorship packages, and then you assign the live page templates to them. So for example, you can create a standard package, and then you assign the standard booth template to that package. Then you have a premium package, and you assign the premium booth template and maybe the auditorium template to that package. And you can have even more packages, right? Then the next step is where you create the sponsor companies. So you create the sponsor companies, for example, ABC company, and then you assign the package to that company. So it's as simple as that, the flow, right? Of course, based on what package they have signed up for. And then the last step would then to add the sponsor users at each company. So for example, Paul at ABC, you add them under ABC company, Jane under ABC company, and Peter under XYZ company. So that whole data flow that I just went through, it can be done manually, of course, but it can also be imported, right? Because sometimes you would have a huge list of exhibitors, and what you would want to do then is just to import them at one go. So that's possible. So that's for sponsorship. Channels are actually the conduit for your live streaming and the channels where you can manage them. So when you create this is where you can create your channels, and then you can add them again through live stream blocks on your live pages. From a more practical perspective here, the way it works is that when you create a channel, each channel will have a unique stream key. And so using that stream key, this is what you will be able to add to your streaming software. So for example, OBS or Streamlabs or even YouTube, right? So you add this key into your streaming software, and that's how you'll be able to stream your video to GEVME Virtual through our channels. Next, we have analytics. So this is where you are able to see the engagement data of the attendee, and where you're able to download the reports as well. So in terms of the types of data, so there are the visits, so who visited which live pages, how many times, content, who interacted with which content. So for example, who downloaded which PDF or which brochure or clicked on which link. From a media point of view, so who watched the live streams, for how long, what are the watch time, and as well as the VOD as well. And then from a chat perspective, what are the messages that has been sent in the group chats? So, and these can be exported. And then lastly, sorry, still under analytics, so polls. So you have the polls participations and the results under analytics. And then bookmarks. So who bookmarked the various content across your event? So the sponsors, the sessions, and the resources, who are the attendees who bookmarked these items. Then the last module would be notifications. And under notifications, this is where you are able to send announcement to your attendees, to the attendees. So announcements are meant to be like push content in one direction. So for example, here, pushing an update about the event, or telling them that, you know, there is an upcoming session, that they can go to that particular breakout room. All of these can be done through announcements. So these announcements can be sent either instantaneously or can be scheduled at a time. They can have a CTA button, which will link them to another live page or any other URL. And they can be set they can be targeted at specific people or on specific live pages. So all of these can be done. And similarly, we have polls under the notifications as well. So the polls would look something like this. And these, again, just like announcement, they can be set to all attendees or to specific attendees. They can be set on the spot or can be scheduled, or they can be targeted.